Right now, the world feels uncertain. Military tensions rise, alliances shift, and news about conflicts spreads across television screens and mobile phones every single day. When a crisis begins somewhere in the world, people often imagine soldiers, ships, or fighter jets as the center of the action. But behind every military operation, behind every strategic decision, there is usually a room filled with analysts, generals, maps, and data. In the United States, many of those decisions pass through one place, a building so influential that it has become a global symbol of military power and strategy. That building is the Pentagon, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. From this massive five-sided structure, military leaders coordinate operations across continents, manage defense policies, and respond to global threats. When tensions rise anywhere in the world, attention often turns to this building, because inside its walls are the offices where strategies are debated, plans are drafted, and decisions are made that can influence international security. To understand why the Pentagon became so important, we must go back to the early 1940s. At that time, the world was already in the middle of the devastating global conflict known as World War II. Across Europe and Asia, armies were fighting enormous battles. Cities were being bombed, and entire nations were mobilizing their industries and populations for war. The United States had not yet officially entered the conflict, but American leaders knew that the possibility of involvement was increasing every day. Military planners began preparing for a scenario in which the United States would need to coordinate massive operations across oceans and continents. However, the American military command structure had a major problem. At the time, the War Department, the organization responsible for managing the Army, was scattered across dozens of different office buildings throughout the capital region. Officers worked in temporary offices, rented buildings, and crowded government facilities. Communication between departments required constant travel across the city. Documents had to be physically transported between offices. Meetings were difficult to organize because key leaders were spread across multiple locations. As the scale of the global war increased, this fragmented system became increasingly inefficient. Government officials realized that the military needed a central headquarters where planners, administrators, and commanders could work together in one location. The idea was simple but ambitious: build a massive office complex capable of housing tens of thousands of employees and bringing the entire defense leadership under one roof. The challenge was time. War was already raging across the world, and if the United States entered the conflict, the military would need this headquarters immediately. Planning began for what would become one of the most extraordinary construction projects in American history. The chosen site was located in Arlington, just across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. The location allowed quick access to the capital while providing enough open land for an enormous structure. Engineers and architects quickly began designing a building unlike anything that had ever been constructed before. The shape of the building became one of its most recognizable features. Instead of a square or rectangular design, the architects created a five-sided structure. This unusual geometry allowed the building to fit the available land, while also providing efficient internal circulation. Because of this five-sided shape, the building became known as the Pentagon. Construction officially began on September 11, 1941. Thousands of workers were hired to complete the project as quickly as possible. Concrete trucks, cranes, steel beams, and construction crews filled the site day and night. The urgency of wartime production meant that the building process moved at a remarkable speed. Normally, a building of this size would require several years of construction, but the Pentagon was completed in only about 16 months. By January 1943, the structure was already operational and employees were moving into their offices. The speed of construction was so extraordinary that it became one of the defining achievements of wartime American engineering. The finished building was enormous. Even today, the Pentagon remains one of the largest office buildings ever constructed. Its total floor space covers approximately 5 million square feet. Inside the building, there are 5 concentric rings connected by corridors that form a network of hallways stretching nearly 17 miles. Because of the building's circular layout, Employees can usually walk between any 2 points within about 10 minutes despite the building's vast size. The structure contains thousands of offices, conference rooms, and workspaces. It also includes facilities necessary for daily life within such a large complex, including cafeterias, banks, medical services, and retail shops. More than 20,000 military and civilian personnel work inside the building on a typical day. With its massive workforce and extensive infrastructure, the Pentagon often functions like a small city. At the center of the building lies an open courtyard. During the Cold War, employees developed a humorous nickname for this space. They called it the Ground Zero Cafe. The nickname was based on a rumor that Soviet intelligence believed a secret nuclear command bunker existed beneath the courtyard. If that were true, the courtyard might become the primary target in a nuclear attack. Pentagon workers jokingly said that if a nuclear missile ever struck the building, the courtyard would be ground zero. The nickname became a piece of Pentagon culture, reflecting the mixture of humor and tension that existed during decades of geopolitical rivalry. After the end of World War II, the global political environment changed dramatically. The alliance between the United States and the Soviet Union quickly turned into a rivalry that would shape international relations for decades. This period became known as the Cold War. The Pentagon became a central location for planning strategies related to nuclear deterrence, military alliances, and global defense policy. Military leaders and analysts worked inside the building to develop plans designed to prevent large-scale conflict while maintaining strategic advantages. Decisions made within the Pentagon influenced military deployments around the world and helped shape the balance of power between major nations. Throughout the Cold War, the Pentagon oversaw numerous military operations and defense initiatives. Planning related to conflicts such as the Vietnam War required extensive coordination between different branches of the military. Analysts evaluated intelligence reports, logisticians planned supply networks, and commanders reviewed strategic objectives. The Pentagon's role as the central hub of American defense planning continued to expand as new technologies and military capabilities emerged. Satellite surveillance, advanced communication systems, and computer-based planning tools gradually transformed how military operations were coordinated. In 1991, the United States led a coalition during the Gulf War. The planning and coordination for this complex international operation involved thousands of personnel working inside the Pentagon. Military leaders analyzed battlefield information, coordinated with allied governments, and managed logistics that stretched across continents. The success of the operation demonstrated the importance of centralized planning and modern communication systems within the Pentagon. The building itself also underwent major renovations during the late 20th century. As technology advanced, the Pentagon required upgrades to electrical systems, communications infrastructure, and security features. Renovation projects modernized offices and installed advanced information networks that allowed personnel to access data quickly and coordinate operations more effectively. Despite these updates, the building retained its historic architectural design and continued to serve as the symbolic center of American military leadership. On September 11, 2001, the Pentagon became the site of one of the most tragic events in modern American history. During the coordinated terrorist attacks known as the September 11 attacks, a hijacked commercial airliner crashed into the western side of the building. The impact caused severe structural damage and fires within the affected section. 184 people lost their lives, including passengers on the aircraft and individuals working inside the building. Emergency responders, firefighters, and rescue teams worked tirelessly to contain the fires and assist survivors. The attack marked the first time the Pentagon had been directly targeted in such a way. In the aftermath of the attack, a massive reconstruction effort began. Engineers and construction crews worked to rebuild the damaged section of the building while incorporating improved safety features. Remarkably, the restored portion of the Pentagon was completed within 1 year. The rapid reconstruction symbolized resilience and determination during a difficult moment in national history. To honor those who lost their lives during the attack, a memorial was constructed outside the building. The Pentagon Memorial consists of a series of illuminated benches arranged across a landscaped park. Each bench represents one of the victims of the attack. Visitors who walk through the memorial can see the names of individuals whose lives were lost that day. The design of the memorial creates a quiet and reflective atmosphere, reminding visitors of the human impact of global conflict and terrorism. In the years following the attacks, the Pentagon became a central command center for military operations related to the war on terror. Planning for missions during the war in Afghanistan and other counterterrorism efforts required coordination across multiple government agencies and international partners. Analysts evaluated intelligence data from around the world while commanders developed strategies designed to address evolving threats. The Pentagon's role in global security continued to expand as new challenges emerged in the 21st century. Today, the Pentagon remains one of the most influential buildings in the world. Inside its offices, military leaders review intelligence reports, analyze geopolitical developments, and develop strategies designed to protect national security. The building houses leadership from multiple branches of the U.S. military, including the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Space Force. Coordination between these organizations ensures that military capabilities can be deployed efficiently when needed. When international tensions increase, journalists and analysts often focus attention on the Pentagon because decisions made there can influence events across the globe. Military briefings, strategic assessments, and policy discussions take place daily within its conference rooms. Advanced communication systems allow leaders to monitor situations in real time and coordinate with commanders stationed in distant regions. Despite its reputation as a symbol of military power, the Pentagon is also a workplace where thousands of individuals perform routine administrative and analytical tasks. Economists evaluate defense budgets, engineers develop technological systems, and policy experts study the complex relationships between military actions and international diplomacy. These efforts demonstrate that modern military strategy involves far more than battlefield tactics. It requires careful planning, coordination, and analysis across multiple fields of expertise. Over the decades, the Pentagon has become deeply embedded in global political culture. It appears frequently in news reports, films, documentaries, and books discussing international security. The building's distinctive five-sided shape is instantly recognizable, symbolizing the organizational center of one of the world's most powerful military forces. Even in an era defined by advanced digital communication and satellite networks, physical headquarters remain important. The Pentagon provides a location where leaders from different military branches and government agencies can meet face-to-face, exchange ideas, and develop coordinated strategies. The building continues to evolve as new technologies reshape defense planning and global security challenges. From its origins during World War II to its role in modern international affairs, the Pentagon has stood at the intersection of history and strategy. It was built during a moment of urgency, when the world was facing one of the largest conflicts in human history. Over time, it became the nerve center of American military planning during the Cold War, the command hub for numerous international operations, and a symbol of resilience following the attacks of 2001. Today, when global tensions rise and new challenges appear on the international stage, the Pentagon remains one of the places where leaders gather to evaluate the situation and determine how to respond. The building itself is made of concrete, steel, and glass, but the decisions made within its walls carry consequences that can influence nations and shape the course of history. And as long as the world continues to face security challenges, the Pentagon will remain a central location where strategies are developed, alliances are coordinated, and plans are prepared for whatever the future may bring.